Welcome y'all to Always Adults. It's actually almost adults.
Hey everybody, it's back to Almost Adults, and we are here with Mr. Chaseface. Hi, Chase.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Gage!
Hi, it's me, the Gage boy.
Why are you accusing me of something I'm not?
Because I don't like you at all. You and I have just been talking for we've actually been talking for 45 minutes. We were just like, we should probably record at some point, because this is all usable content.
Yeah, we're shit talking and talking about the industry, and we were talking about what
breaking
kind of
all
coffee,
sorts of DMCAs, NDAs.
breaking all sort of DMC. Yeah, we're talking about the Toy Story 5, but none of that matters now because we're here recording with Chaseface. How's it going, bud?
Dude, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. I'm just hanging out. I just woke up like an hour ago, so I'm still kind of. You're getting sleepy time.
Little groggy. Yeah, the first half of our not recorded section was just you yawning. Yeah. And I was like, oh, God, if it's going to be like this the whole podcast.
This fucking piece of shit, yeah.
This garbo human being.
This
it takes a lot for me to
loser. Sorry. I got a little excited.
No. It takes a lot for me to call someone garbo, so congratulations.
Sure about that? I heard you're a little shit stir. I heard you're a little piece of shit, Gage. I heard everyone fucking hates you.
That's very true, but also, I hate about two people. I can count the people I dislike on my one hand, and it's very, very hard to get under my skin. So. If you get under my skin, hey, no, I don't want to do that.
You. For me, it's there's only a few people that I hate, but there's a lot of people I dislike. You know, I like.
That's a very important distinction.
Yeah. Just people that I think they're kind of assholes, but they don't strike me as fucking inherently evil people. You know, but. Yeah. That's kind of the nature of the internet. There's a lot of people that act really fucking mean and really tough on Twitter, but if you got them in a convention room, they'd be like, hey, screw you, pal, and then they'd walk away and have a panic attack. There's people who are so insanely conflict avoidant.
That's me, but also I avoid conflict on Twitter.
It seems to find me.
You're like, what is this foreign concept? There are people that are a bit opportunistic.
Yes.
Dare I say, when there's someone quote unquote bigger than them or someone more influential, they might drop you at the drop of a hat, and you're like, oh, what happened? I thought we were friends.
That's why I really appreciate Oni, because Oni is just so. If I were Chris O'Neill for the uninitiated, if I were Chris, I would It would be so tempting to just be like, yeah, I'm fucking too bored to talk to you. I have this many subs or whatever. But he's just such a human. And it's just he's so, he's a fucking busy dude. So I never take it personally if he doesn't get back to me, because I know he's juggling a handful of things and making a fucking video game that's probably going to be really good. But it's always refreshing when you meet someone that has a large audience and they haven't lost their humanity and turned into a complete diva, because that's way too common. I was actually talking to Chris recently. He made a really good point. I don't think he'd mind me divulging this, because it speaks truth to power. But we've both met so many creative people that are so ridiculously eccentric that I don't know, it's people who are very sensitive. It's really easy to set off creative types, seemingly with no heads up, just a hair trigger response, And you probably don't see that as much because you're so agreeable. But there are plenty of people. People like me who I just like being abrasive and pushing buttons sometimes, and some people just have no tolerance for that shit whatsoever, and they're just they just block you.
I don't know if I would call myself agreeable, but I do smile and nod, and too much when people are
you just talk shit behind the scenes.
Yeah, like a decent human being. Come on, talk behind their back, not on Twitter.
Oh, but I wanted to ask, I want to ask about. I know you mentioned that you have like some vague outlines of questions to ask, but I did want to talk about VR for a little bit because you were saying that you're not sure if it's worth getting right now.
Yes, sir.
And you'd rather wait 2 to 3 years. So Oculus just came out with the Oculus Quest 2, which a lot of people are weird about because it requires you to have a Facebook account to log in. But I think, don't hold me to this, I could be wrong. If you just connect it to Steam with like a link cable thing, like a USB Type-C cable, you can just play your Steam library like it's a normal computer headset. Whereas if you play it as intended, as an all-in-one wireless tetherless device, then you'll need a Facebook account to use like your Oculus account or whatever. But like it's $300 and you can just use that to play computer games.
That's a lot cheaper than I expected. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm like a super enthusiast, so I invested in the Valve Index, which is $1,000 because it has the best visuals, at least at the time. It has the best controllers. It's just kind of the best of everything. But the main reason why I prefer the Valve Index to all of the other ones is that there's this awesome fucking technology called full body tracking. And that is basically just you have like these pucks, like these hockey puck looking things, and you put them on your feet and you put one on your waist for like 3 total, and it just lets you articulate your avatar in like VR chat is the main application. There's only like 1 or 2 other games aside from that support it, but it lets you do a lot of really cool shit. And it lets you it lets people who want to dance do so in VR. It lets you hang out and lie down and sit and kick people and like lean in or lean back or like whatever. It lets you have a full range of motion.
Well, how long have you been in the VR game?
About 1.5 years.
So not too long.
Yeah, I waited because I saw that some of the technology looked a little bit weak, and I was just like, super hot, Windlands, fucking, whatever, games where you kill people. It just looked kind of like, it wasn't really, like, it didn't really have any killer apps that I wanted. And then it turns out there's a game called Vox Machinae, where you're basically, like, piloting a fucking Gundam robot thing. You're, like, the pilot of it. And you aim with your head and eyes, like your head and eyes, and you use your hands to adjust like your gear, your turning radius, your flight stick. So like you can kind of like boost left or right, or you can grab it and pull it up, and you fly just directly up into the sky, etc. And it's really neat, just all the different kinds of things that you can do with it. So like there's like Super Hot VR, and Super Hot, just the game where things only happen when you're moving. And when I saw that game originally, I was like, this is boring. But then I played it in VR, and I was like, this is a masterpiece. Which is like, some games are definitely like that.
Yeah, that seems like one of the games that always meant to be in VR.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It wasn't intended for anything else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's really cool. I mean, a lot of people are not super chuffed about the trajectory that VR is taking on. Like, it's not, we're not going to get Sword Art Online levels of immersion anytime, probably within our lifetime, because there's the idea of full dive VR, which is when you're like in the virtual world, like in the actual game, like neurologically.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, like your eyes, your ears, your senses, your taste, etc. All of that is like there. And the problem is we don't even understand what the fuck does what exactly in the brain. We've just named all of the parts, and we generally know what they do, but we don't know how to simulate sensations, let alone have a fucking piece of software do that for us. And if we did, that's incredibly invasive. And there's a lot of fucking ethical issues that come into question. Like Elon Musk is working on something called Neuralink, Neura link.
I heard about that. Yeah.
It sounds way more fanciful than it is. It's really just like a fucking brain implant that lets the elderly use their phones with their brains, which is still cool. Don't get me wrong, right? But it's no SAO. It's not gonna fucking let us go in and fight monsters with swords and lay down on our bed and have virtual sex with virtual women and have it feel really good. Like, you know, it's just it's
See,
yeah. Go on.
your what is it called? Like your reference for VR is Sword Art Online. I have never seen it, so when I think of VR, I think of actually augmented reality, and I think of fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, where they're like projecting the monsters
pot
onto
of
the
greed.
battlefield.
Yeah,
That's
all that
illegal. Can't do it. Haha.
They actually, I was just watching someone on VR chat has like they made a map where you can actually play Yu-Gi-Oh, and you grab the cards and put them on your fucking like dual disc, I think it's called. And it goes and it does it does all that shit. So that's one more reason for you to get VR is if you want to fucking play Yu-Gi-Oh. And this guy who's just like, and I use Pot of Greed to draw 2 more cards. I think there was Jar of Greed back in the day that was like, it would let you draw 3 cards. And I was like, why is everyone so crazy about Pot of Greed? Jar of Greed is where it's at. I think you can only have like 1 in a deck though, so it was nerfed. But yeah, no, it's fucking it's cool shit, man. I think that we're way far off from but to give you the context of you not understanding Sword Art Online. So the idea of SAO, as it's shortened, is that people put on a headset. It looks kind of like an augmented reality sort of headset, where it's like a visor that covers your entire face and shit. Is that you're using it to get into an MMORPG, but in real life, like you're almost in a coma. You're laying down on your bed. And but then in the game you're jumping and you're attacking shit and you're making food and you're, you know, like you fucking do a hand gesture and a transparent menu pops up and you do the futuristic thing where you swipe to the left and it opens new options and you tap this.
Like
and
in
you pinch
Jumanji
this.
2.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson hits his wrist and a little map pops up. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, that sounds more or less like what I'm talking about. Thank you, The Rock. You're fucking pushing us forward. But yeah, no, it's really cool conceptually, but it's like we don't even have the faintest idea of how to fucking remotely approach that. So it's probably never gonna happen, pretty much.
And if it does, it might not be ethically sound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that was the other thing I was going to sort of cap this off with is Elon Musk was talking about how there are 2 ways to do like brain transplants. And one way is to have it be like subdermal, which is to say beneath the skull directly on the brain, which is very invasive. You have to fucking do surgery for. And then the other one is just, you know, non-invasive, which is putting an electrode or what have you, a computer chip, on your scalp. So it's exterior. And he said most people prefer the non-invasive route. Personally, as long as the technology is like fucking bulletproof and there's a promise that it's not gonna like, you know, leak some sort of battery fluid onto my fucking brain tissue, I would be okay with putting it under my skull because like, that's the price of evolution. Being that dude who's like, yeah, I'll get a fucking Android arm. Why not? Let's do it. Lop it off. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be the guinea pig for that. It scares me when people are like, yeah, this new experimental drug might cure cancer, or you might grow a 3rd arm. And I'm like, yeah. I'll take the cancer, thank you very much.
I mean, hey, I was reluctant in being an early adopter for Sony fucking 3D TVs, and thank God that shit didn't pan out.
Oh yeah.
Remember when that was the thing? Sony's like, we got TVs.
No, that was
you wear
from
fucking
2009.
glasses. Yeah.
2009 to 2000, like up to like 15, it started dying out.
Yeah, it's like
way longer than it should have gone.
I mean, yeah, it sounds
Avatar.
interesting. It sounds interesting because, like, in theory, it should be more immersive. But you know what's really crazy is you go to one 3D movie and you can kind of just simulate it in your head because all it really does is it divides up things in the foreground and things in the background. And then things in the foreground are closer and the things in the background kind of get wider. And so I would see 3D movies and then I would see other movies that, you know, I wasn't watching those other movies in 3D, but they were available for 3D viewing. And as I sat in the theater and just watched them, I thought to myself, yeah, I can pretty much feel what this would be like if it was in 3D. Like, it was really just a visual effect. It wasn't anything super fucking immersive. It didn't... I feel like having the glasses definitely was just not as cool as everyone wanted me to believe, you know?
Do you think they're going to do that same gimmick for Avatar 2 through 5?
No. Do they still do 3D movies?
You think they're going to completely abandon that?
Do they still do 3D movies? I mean, do they still do movies?
They
period?
don't. They don't. Well, first off, they don't do any movies whatsoever because there's a pandemic.
I'm a homebody. I don't give a shit. Nothing has changed for me at all.
Actually, that was one of the questions I was going to ask. Like, have you been picking up any new media or TV shows or movies in your time in quarantine? But you're saying it's pretty much the same for you?
It's mostly video games, honestly, for me. It's just kind of me catching back up on backlog stuff. It's like video games, porn, talking to the girlfriend, porn with the girlfriend. I'm just kidding.
Are you though?
Y'all never fucking know.
Well, yeah.
I don't really watch much TV. And if I do, it's mostly anime because I have like a big backlog. But what was one? Attack on Titan. I've been catching back up on Attack on Titan because the last season is premiering now.
Yeah, I heard really good things about the third and fourth season of it. But there was such a long gap between the first and second season that everyone just kind of, and everyone just kind of like, well.
I mean, keep in mind, it aired in 2013, season 1. It's been going on for 7 fucking years, this show. It's finally ending. But a lot of people are not super happy with the animation quality because there's like weird motions where characters are rotoscoped and the animation looks really weird. And then there's other moments where there's CG, where like people, they look like the animation for Berserk 2016, which any of your anime viewers will understand what I mean by that. But, which is a fair criticism. It doesn't look amazing. But, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good show.
I am very deficient when it comes to anime. I've seen like JoJo, Cowboy Bebop, and Brotherhood, and Dragon Ball Z Broly, and that's just about it.
Those are the main ones you need to concern yourself with, honestly. I mean, everything else is just extra.
Yeah, I feel like that's enough anime for not my lifetime, but for now.
Right. You're not like super huge on anime. I mean, there's one I really like that was made in I think 2001 or 2003 or something. It's called Monster. And I go on about it all the time, so my fans enjoy scoffing at me bringing it up because it's like, fucking always talking about this one goddamn show. But it's just, in so many words, it's like really realistically oriented. Like, I'm gonna Google some images to show you kind of what the art style looks like. But like, it takes place like in Germany, and all the character expressions are very like, they're not super anime. Like it's obviously anime and kind of like cartoonish and stuff. Oh, you can already see my fucking screen. I forgot I still have my screen on. But like, you can see a lot of these characters, like, they don't look super typically anime, you know?
Right, non-traditional.
Very non-traditional, yeah. And like, when characters are evil, they look fucking evil, you know? And it's such a captivating art style. But basically, it's about this character, Dr. Tenma, who he was working at this hospital, and he ended up basically saving this child from dying of a gunshot wound. It's really involved because like the first season, he ends up he's originally supposed to operate on like this construction worker, and then the director of the hospital is like, no, fuck you, go operate on this other guy who pays us a lot of money every year. And he saves him. And apparently all the other doctors at the hospital are incompetent, so the fucking construction worker dies. And then he gets apprehended by like the dead construction worker's wife and child, and they're just screaming and crying and be like, why didn't you save him? You're the only one that could have done it. And it like traumatizes him, and he's just like, fuck. And then he's trying to talk to his wife afterwards, like, And she's just nihilistically, she's like, oh, all lives aren't created equal, you know that. And as she says that, she bites into a bloody piece of steak and looks at him, and it's just this kind of foreboding moment where he just realizes sort of the brutal nature of the world and like whether or not he even really knows her. And then he ends up like having that same sort of situation again where she's like, where he's supposed to operate on this little boy that gets a gunshot wound in his head. And then the director is like, no, you're supposed to fucking go operate on this, this
The
opera
boy
singer
doesn't
or
pay
whatever.
us enough.
Yeah. They're like, no, you're supposed to go operate on this opera singer. And he has flashbacks of that woman screaming at him, and he's just like, no, fuck you. And he goes and he saves the kid. And he gets like demoted, and he's told like, you'll never work in this industry again. And then he ends up like, while he's visiting the young boy that he saved, he just says like, people like that would fucking be better off dead, like my bosses and shit. And then as he leaves the room, the boy kind of wakes up and just looks out of his eye barely, like he's apparently been conscious the whole time.
Oh.
And then like the next day, all the people he was upset with, they all got fucking killed. And like the police come to him asking him questions. He's like, no, I have no idea. And they're like, well, you're our lead suspect. And then it cuts to like fucking...
it seems like you truly are the monster.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a fucking monster in terms of how much I like this show. And it's and then like later on, he's working in another hospital, and this fucking like this guy is just missing, and then he looks for him, and he finds this blonde guy with a gun to the guy's head, to his patient's head, and he fucking just shoots the patient, and then he walks by him. He's like, oh, Dr. Tenma, it's me, the boy you saved. Yeah, I'm a neo-Nazi now, and I just murder people and shit. And so then the entire show is about him like tracking down this monster he's created, and like throughout the entire show.
Okay.
Throughout the entire show, he looks so fucking haggard because he's just perpetually on the run, and he's like a surgeon. So it's crazy because he'll go into situations where people are dying, like war criminals and drug dealers and gangsters, and he goes like, I'm a surgeon. It's okay. Like, let me help you. And it's really, really cool that he's this sort of, he's like this anti-hero, but he's like a really pure character. And it's 74 episodes, and there's not a drop of fucking filler in that show. It is all super meaningful. Every
That's what
episode.
I like to hear, because people recommend me, like Dragon Ball Z or One Piece or Naruto or whatever, and I just see these flashback episodes. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I don't have that time.
Yeah. And it's just like, so like that falls into a category called seinen, and seinen is like more kind of gritty and adult. And I'm not acting like, oh, I'm mature, but like I really like dark shit. I really like the more adult and mature something is, the more I'm willing to take it seriously. Whereas if you get like My Hero Academia or Naruto or Full Metal Alchemist, and I know FMA has like, pretty serious moments as well. But like generally speaking, a lot of what's popular these days is shonen, Dr. Stone and fucking your Fire Force and whatever. A lot of it's designed.
Yeah.
A lot of it's designed to for infinite serialization. So like Naruto, you saw how fucking there were like 800 episodes of Naruto or some shit, including Shippuden. Like, I don't have the time for that shit. I want it one and done. I want a series.
We're grown men. We got
we're
things
grown.
to
We
do,
got
like
fucking
taxes.
shit to do. I just have too much shit to do. I can't justify. So like One Piece, right? I hear great things about One Piece. I'm not knocking One Piece at all, despite it being a shonen anime.
Mm-hmm.
If I grew up with One Piece, which I did in terms of the manga, and I kind of fell off, then I could see it being like every week. It's like, oh, new episode, watch that. Oh, next week, new episode, watch that. Like I'm doing with Attack on Titan. But if Attack on Titan was 800 episodes and I was starting fresh, that's extremely fucking daunting.
Oh my god, yeah. Do you ever have a show where you feel committed to that show even if it's took a turn for the worst?
Sort of. I have a different outlook on that sort of thing, because no matter what I do, I can spin that into content. So if I watch a show that's
true.
really fucking good and it gets really fucking bad, then I can just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to do a review just destroying this thing. But like, if I were a layman, if I were just some guy watching it just for
You're
recreation.
an average Joe.
If I was an average male, then
if you were one of the betas,
if I were just a fucking soy boy cuck. If I were some libtard, no. If I was just like a dude just watching it recreationally, I'd be like, oh, it's pretty boring. I'm gonna stop watching now. Like every time I try to get into, what is it? It's the anime that goes da na na da 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 na na.
JoJo.
No, I do love JoJo. You're thinking of da la 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 da 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 da, which I fucking love. Part 2 is like one of my favorite parts of JoJo. I mean, I acknowledge that like part.
That's one of my least favorite parts.
Really?
Actually.
Part 3 was fucking awful because every episode was like a two-parter.
I didn't like 3 as much as everyone else. People love is his name Jotaro? Or is that the 4th one?
Yeah, Jotaro. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone really likes him, but I'm like, he's kind of bland.
See,
he's kind of.
Part 2 is Joseph. Joseph
Right.
Joestar, the one who's just like next. You'll
I think
say.
he's my favorite JoJo.
Yeah.
But the actual story itself, I'm like, it's almost like the calm before the plot of part 3.
Right. Yeah, I didn't expect part 3 to end where it did, and then part 4 is definitely my favorite because I just think the entire cast of part 4 is so inherently like Josuke and all of them with his fucking meat patty looking pompadour ass, and then fucking all the other supporting characters of that. And part 5 was like good, but the constant like Italian mob motif and shit was like, I don't know, something about it kind of wore on me quickly, and the ending was like very abrupt, like, super abrupt, the ending of part 5. But I guess we'll see where part 6 goes. My girlfriend actually sat me down and she's like, we need to watch JoJo. It's like really good. And I was like, okay. And all of part 1.
You've just watched the anime, right? No,
right. I have not read
manga.
the manga because I really like the sound design they have in JoJo. They have these great like super fucking loud, almost like like ear decimatingly loud dramatic impact sounds to denote that something really fucking serious is happening and stuff like that.
And visually, those scenes, when a scene's like gets really intense, they shift the color palette just completely.
Yeah, or like invert things or whatever.
Blue skins are like that.
This is a complete non sequitur. Did you watch Yu Yu Hakusho as a kid?
No.
So in Yu Yu Hakusho, there's this arc where it's like the spirit tournament or something like that. And it has that old woman that voices Frieza in Dragon Ball Z, voicing forget her name, but she voices like
for some
old...
reason I want to say she's a librarian or was a librarian.
That would make she's Chris Sabat's mother or grandmother, I think. It's old.
But anyone, old Frieza.
She voices this character in Yu Yu Hakusho. So like the whole thing is that like they're dead, they're spirits and shit, but like they all get like spirit powers and stuff. So Yusuke Urameshi has like a spirit gun that he uses. And but he can only use it like once a day, but it's like insanely powerful. And they do like this weird tournament thingy in like Kuwabara. Have you seen Yu Yu Hakusho?
No, this is the second time you're asking.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm I'm so into it. I
appreciate it. It makes good podcasting.
No, at first I thought, and I asked you, have you seen it recently? And you're like, no, it's been a while. So I was just like double checking. It's a fucking great show. Holds up amazingly well. Like it's really, really, really interesting and pulls at your heartstrings a lot. First episode, fucking protagonist dies, and he's this selfish gangster, hoodlum, fucking truant piece of shit who he's like, fuck it, I'm dead, whatever, who cares? No one loves me anyway. And then he sees the effect this is having on his single mother, on his best female friend from childhood, and how they're literally like bawling their fucking eyes out and insulting him for being so stupid as to like, because he dies like helping a kid not get killed by an oncoming car because he chases his ball into the street. And it's just like, holy shit, it'll make you tear up, dude. First episode, it's really emotional. Send it to you. But it still holds up really fucking well.
How long is it?
The show's like 300 episodes or some shit.
Oh my god, you're giving me so much homework.
I know. It's for the best though. But no, it's and it's like later on there's this arc where it's like they're at a tournament And they're supposed to, but it's like one of the contestants is like this fucking omega powerful demon lord guy, but they don't know who it is. So the whole time they're fighting, they're like trying to fucking kind of sniff out their prey. Like, okay, who is it? Is it that guy? That guy looks pretty intimidating. I don't know. I'm kind of not, I'm not really feeling much like power emanating from him. And then when they finally do, like, you know, encounter the you know, tournament participant who is in fact the demon guy. He's just this unassuming little fucking monk. He looks like Chaozu from Dragon Ball, the fucking little guy with the white skin and the like blushies and stuff, like the rosy cheeks. He looks like that, but like as a tall, normal human dude. And he can like shrink people. And so he fucking shrinks Kuwabara, like the antagonist or protagonist, whatever, second protagonist. He shrinks him down into his palm, and he fucking bends his arm the wrong way until it cracks, and it makes like this really, it's like, oh, this horrible sound. And as a kid, it like fucked me up. It was like really
man.
It was overkill. And it's just like, I don't remember why I brought that up, but it definitely had something to do with the thing you said prior. So I guess people in the video.
What have I even said in the past half hour?
I don't know, not much.
Not much.
Hey, I told you I talk a lot, man. This is your fault.
Yeah, no, you gave me a fair warning, and I'm just letting you go off the rails.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But it's fun. I'm learning a lot of stuff about anime and stuff.
I got a lot of shit to say.
I love learning about anime, and I love learning about different movies.
Yeah.
This quarantine, I'm trying to expand my media, not media presence, but media knowledge throughout. Like, I haven't seen a lot of older noir films. I haven't seen a lot of new Hollywood, which is 70s and 80s films.
Please tell me that you have seen Breaking Bad and or Better Call Saul.
All right, I'm gonna say this.
Gage.
And I'm only gonna say it once.
Gage.
I'm only gonna say this once.
This is an easy yes or no. Sorry, go on.
Better Call Saul is the best show on television right now.
Thank God. Okay, good.
Okay, yeah. I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Okay, yeah, no, Better Call Saul's fucking fantastic.
It's a shame not a lot of people are watching it. I think
Really?
it's going to. I feel like not a lot of people are watching
Don't hear about it as
like.
much.
Yeah, I don't hear about it as much as Breaking Bad, just because like cable is kind of irrelevant nowadays.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just pirate everything, but you didn't hear from me, YouTube.
YouTube. But yeah, no, I share like an AMC account with a friend because they have like their parents have cable and they're like, you can log in using the cable website, and I'm like, perfect. That's what I want because I don't have to pay for it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But it's my favorite show on television right now, and I think the characters are a lot more compelling than in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I think it dances with a lot of, I don't want to say deeper questions, but I guess, deeper questions than kind of deeper morale questions.
It touches on themes that you never really see touched on as much. Like, I really like the idea of like, can you really change? Is it sort of written into your genes if you're just like a fucking huckster piece of shit? Like, and I just, there's so much good shit about that. There's like, I don't even want to like discuss it any deeper.
You might give away some spoilers. I mean, by the way, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
So he lives throughout it.
Right.
But
Kim, on the
that's
other
about
hand,
all you know. Ooh.
So
I'm so anxious for the next season.
So this isn't even really a spoiler for fucking anyone, but like, anyone who's watched anyone who watched Breaking Bad knows that Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, the protagonist for Better Call Saul, is present throughout all Breaking Bad, at least once he is introduced in like the fucking second season or some shit. And in Better Call Saul, the prequel, he has a lover / business partner / friend / colleague named Kim Wexler. And she's this blonde lawyer lady that's kind of badass, but also very compassionate. And she's kind of, she's sort of Jimmy's foil. She is Jimmy's foil in a lot of ways.
Right. She keeps Jimmy from going off the deep end.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
She's basically like the angel on his shoulder 100% of the time. 90% of the time. Except when they want to fucking scam people in restaurants and shit. And slip in Jimmy. But
I know who you are. You're Slippin' Jimmy.
You're Slippin' Jimmy. But in Breaking Bad,
I'm
Kim
Slippin'
is
Jimmy, baby.
in Breaking Bad, Kim is nowhere to be found. And so I theorized that she's gonna fucking die at some point before the end of the show. And it's interesting because I was talking to my folks because they're on the pulse as well for this show because they like it a lot because I come from parents with good taste. And they were like, there's what's that guy's name? Nacho or some shit?
Yeah, Nacho.
The dude who's kind of like a common thread in all of the Better Call Saul stuff. And doesn't he end up like kind of approaching Jim? I'm not trying to be too spoiler, but doesn't he end up like approaching Jimmy at some point and acting all threatening and tough and shit?
Yeah, I think the second or third episode, he's with Tuco Salamanca initially.
Tuco Salamanca.
And Tuco Salamanca. And yeah, and he's been getting into sort of the DEA shit, the drug shit, and some of the law shit. Like you said, he's a common thread.
Right.
But yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's cool. I was just gonna say I forgot his name. I'm fucking shit with names. What's your name?
Kim?
Your name is Greg, I think. Greg, this is the Greg Show.
Greg Andrews?
Greg Andrews. But it's interesting to me because I was talking to my folks about it, and it was like, I'm pretty sure Nacho's not in Breaking Bad, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna fucking die. Wasn't the last episode we end on like the whole like fucking raid like action scene or whatever without spoiling?
Oh
much?
yeah, there's a raid.
Yeah,
and another character who's not in Breaking Bad shows up and goes all Terminator on like a whole SWAT team.
Right, yeah. That was a fun episode.
That was an intense
If you're not
episode.
fucking watching Better Call Saul, do it right now instead of complaining about spoilers, you fucking loser. Anyway.
I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
It actually is.
People who have seen it agree with me.
It actually
people
is,
who haven't seen people who haven't seen Better Call Saul are like,
And-
no, I think Breaking Bad's better.
And keep in mind, that is a tall fucking order to make a show better than Breaking Bad, but they did it. But like the thing I was going to say was I was talking to my folks and I was like, I'm pretty sure Nacho does not show up in Breaking Bad. And they're like, yeah, he does. And I looked up his fucking wiki and I just screenshotted it and sent it to him. And it's like, he wasn't even mentioned by name in Breaking Bad. He's gonna die. And they were like, oh, maybe.
My theory, as far as Kim goes, is that she is alive through the Breaking Bad series.
But she just
she's
fucks
in
off
jail.
somewhere. Yeah. Like she takes the fall or
she
something?
takes the fall for Jimmy, and Jimmy pushes away people.
I mean, I don't know, because
that.
there was that scene in the most recent season where, like, I think Nacho comes in and acts all tough, or some guy comes in and acts all tough, and she's just like, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. And I was like,
yeah, that was Lalo.
You don't know what you just did. The fucking
that was
can
a
of worms you just
scary
opened.
scene, too.
Yeah.
It was... And it was just talking, like no gunshots or anything happened. It was just like, hey, what'd you do? I don't know who that actor is, Lalo Salamanca, but he is.
Yeah.
He's a good mix of like intimidating.
That's
curious.
who it was, Lalo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great because like the best way, and that's why actors enjoy playing villains so much, is because you get to play with sort of the psychosis of like, how normal do I want to make this character? How fucking, at what point do I want to make them seem really unhinged and make that apparent that this person is just a fucking basket case, you know?
Ooh, here's a good question. Who's your favorite villain in media?
My favorite villain in media. I mean, if we're media in general.
Yes.
So, I don't watch like a ton of media, so it's probably gonna have to be like video games or anime or something like that. But
that's what I was expecting anyways, so.
I don't know. I mean, on my screen share right now, you can see there's this character. There's this guy from that monster anime I was gushing
Giovanni ass looking character.
Yeah, and he's just his name is Inspector Lunge, Lunge. And
so he's technically on the good side of the law.
Kind of.
But
So
he's-
like he basically convinces himself that Dr. Tenma was indeed the person behind this string of kills, of murders. And he does anything he can to prove this to himself. Like they always say in terms of methodology, you should never seek to prove your hypothesis right. You should just kind of let the cards fall where they will. So like in terms of psychology, you should never make a research paper and be like, I think that, this is actually a real example. I think black people have more muscle fibers than white people. Or like you should never go out of your way to try to prove your hunch correct. Because
right,
what that's
you test it.
Yeah.
You do research on it.
That's going
be
to
informed,
tamper
everybody.
with the data. You just want to just kind of poke around and see what happens, basically. But like Inspector Lunge, the entire show, he's just like, Tenma fucking killed these people. And then everyone that comes along, they're like in the police force or like the academy or whatever, they're like, dude, Tenma is a great guy. He would never do it. He's like, okay, thank you for your help. And he walks away and he's just like, I have to figure out how Tenma did this murder. It's just like he's relentless.
He just completely disregards them.
Yeah, and he does this thing where he kind of acts like he's typing with a typewriter, and people look at his hand, they're distracted, like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm writing in the hard drive in my brain. I'm typing, I'm taking notes. And then he acts like it's kind of a typewriter, and he like moves the thing from the left to the right, like moving the paper over. And he goes, oh yeah, and he has like photographic memory. He can just recall any fact at will. And at one point he gets so into the case, like I'm taking you off the case. You're going too far.
Yeah. Turning your badge and your gun.
Yeah, he gets way too fucking involved, and like he makes this his personal fucking vendetta. And then he comes home, and there's just like a note from his wife and daughter, and they're just like, yeah, we've left you. Like you're never around. You've gotten obsessed with this. Like we don't even know you anymore. Like take care, but you'll never see us again. And he just like reads it. He just walks inside. Just unpacks his fucking attaché case.
Just another day at the office for him.
Yeah,
isn't
he
it?
just opens up his attaché case, just keeps working, doesn't even fucking react. And he's terrifying. Every scene that he's in, he has these tiny, squinting eyes that don't have any hesitation at all. Like you can see what I'm talking about on screen share, right?
Yes. But I was saying that I think that a character that can conquer emotions that usually would get in the way of us doing like immoral things is a scary character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just that's what I fucking love about I'm sorry that this is just becoming so monster centric, but like also for anyone who wants to watch, Monster the Anime is on YouTube. It's fucking.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just there. I don't think anyone owns the fucking license to it right now or anything, but you can't like buy it or stream it legitimately fucking like anywhere. So, and there's just there's these people who are normally like you see them if you're still looking at my screen. Sorry, viewers who can't see my screen. There's just this guy named Roberto who's a hitman, but you don't know that aside from the fact that he kind of has like a mullet and he looks a little weird. But then like the more you get to know him, the more you realize he's just like this fucking horrific, murderous piece of shit. And it's just like there's so much about. I really enjoy shows that can properly portray evil in a way where it's like it's both subtle and cartoonish at the same time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's I guess that's more common in like anime. They'll have the characters make like super fucking evil expressions. But you were saying?
No, I was just thinking about evil people and villains in general.
Yeah.
And how, yeah. What was it? I don't know. Whatever.
You'll probably remember and we'll get back to it. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I kind of like, I really, you know what? Light Yagami from Death Note is a really good villain considering he's the protagonist. So he's like an anti-hero.
Interesting.
Because he's this very complex character. And there's a manga chat. There's a manga like book thing called How to Read 13. And it explains everything about like everyone's like their blood type, their height, their favorite food, like their personal philosophies, everything. And at the end of Death Note, he finds this guy who's easily manipulated because he has like a very strong stoic sense of what right and wrong is, and very black and white, much like Light. So he tells him, I don't know if you've seen Death Note, Gage.
I haven't.
It's fucking really good.
I heard great things. Yeah.
It's really, really good.
If I'm gonna watch a new anime, that's on the top of my
In
list.
fact, if you want, after this, we can fucking watch like 1 or 2 episodes. It's really good. If you're not doing anything, but it's interesting because by the end of the show, he ends up like recruiting this guy named Mikami, who uses the Death Note on Light's behalf to do his bidding, so that he can work within the confines of the police force without ever being like found out. But in How to Read 13, it explains, oh yeah, in Kira being Light's like sort of persona when he like murders people with his Death Note, in Kira's new world, anyone that commits any sort of murder will not be allowed into Kira's new world and will therefore be punished and executed by Death Note, which means Mikami, even though he's acting directly under Kira's will and like doing his bidding, he still would technically be a murderer, so he wouldn't be allowed in. And it just goes to show you how fucking childishly like self-centered and unflexible this dude is. So it's like he's not like he's not a good person. He's not even that interesting of a person. He's just extremely methodical. And it's just like you get this tactical murderous robot of a human. And it's just like he's really interesting, and it's the only show where it's like, aside from maybe Breaking Bad or Dexter or a few others, where it's like the main character is like definitely the fucking bad guy, but you still want to see them win.
Sure.
So that's probably the best answer I can give.
That's a pretty darn good answer, my dude. I was thinking it's weird how people kind of think in black and white. And like, this is definitely right, this is definitely wrong, and there's no gray in between.
Yeah.
The only example I can really think of off the top of my head from popular media is Rorschach from The Watchmen.
Yeah, that's a good example. It's been fucking a long time since I thought about Watchmen.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the new series?
No, I hear it's not very good.
Oh, no. I totally disagree with that.
Really?
I think it's one of my favorite series. It has great music.
Is that the one that kind of takes on like a fucking black people taking on the KKK kind of thing?
I would say that misrepresents it quite a bit.
Okay. That's all I've really heard about it.
Yeah, there's some racial elements in there,
Right.
but I don't think that's first and foremost at the front of it.
Okay.
Because it is a silly superhero movie with, or a silly superhero series with some real life injected into it, much like the original Watchmen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Because I remember I liked the movie, even if it was like just kind of a. From what I recall, it was a little bit like a rushed version of the comics. I liked.
Yes.
I liked Dr. Manhattan. I liked.
And his giant heart.
Yeah, his giant fucking no dick, no balls having self. Yeah, I mean, it was like, as a series, I was like, it was neat, but like I never really got super into it. I only really got into it because a friend of mine was like a massive fan, and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I really liked. I think I like the series more than I like the original comic. Because
that's one thing I want to say. I fucking can't get into comics. Like, everyone that likes comics seemingly, wants you to get into it, seemingly has liked it from a very fucking young age, and I just can't do it. And I mean, I grew up with manga, and I can kind of do manga still, but I'm just so spoiled by multimedia now. I'm so spoiled by the ability to just turn on a show, watch it electronically, have my ears graced by a fucking not a cacophony. That's a bad word. It's a bad descriptor. Just this fucking this immediate like
avalanche.
Yeah, this avalanche of music and sounds. Like Death Note, for example, I read it as a manga when I was growing up because it just had like a cool premise. And then the anime came out, and the music is fucking perfection. It's like amazingly suited to the tone of what's going on. Which I'll have to show you.
That's what I like about movies and television so much is they combined all of these, like they combined writing and acting and editing and music.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect concoction to deliver, and there's so many different ways to deliver a message from what you're saying through a movie or a television show.
Yeah.
I'm swooning over movies and television just talking about it. I love it so much.
It's all good. I mean, it's funny because like I have a friend who got me into. he really got me to appreciate acting and good performances. And he's just like there's this one scene. It's like a fucking it's like a criminal show or whatever. This character just gets insanely fucking mad. He's like a protagonist. He's like this head detective, and he starts screaming and speaking very quickly at this person that fucked up, and it's so intense. You're just like, holy shit! It's just a complete fucking paradigm shift from how that character normally acts. So you're just like, oh my god! And there's just all these really great moments you can use to wow the viewer. And I notice a lot of things in terms of good acting and good voice acting and everything is like small little gestures rather than like big sweeping grandiose performances. It's like little bits of nuance.
Right.
You know? And
you're not going to remember like a Shakespearean, from top to bottom, a Shakespearean monologue.
Right.
But one of my favorite acting moments was, I might get crucified for this, but whatever. Like in a Marvel movie, just Doctor Strange.
Okay, good.
I don't have a problem with Captain Marvel, but
yeah,
anyways,
I haven't even seen it. I just know everyone hates it, and
it's not a good movie, but it's.
Brie Larson has this way of talking like this all the time, like she's fucking really cool all the time. It gets kind of annoying, but I don't hate her. I'm not gonna go on Twitter and harass her, you know. So
yeah, we can cut this out, but I think Brie Larson is a good actor. However, I don't think she's good in the Captain Marvel role. I have seen her in some of her older stuff, such as Scott Pilgrim.
I think you should keep
12.
that in. I think that's a perfectly valid, you know. I always forget that she was in Scott Pilgrim. I thought she was fucking super hot as what's her name?
Envy Adams.
Envy Adams. Yeah, no, she was good as Envy Adams. I hardly even. I mean, it's crazy to imagine Brie Larson is fucking our age, Gage.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's like 30.
What are we doing with our lives?
I mean, hey, as someone, this is a fucking.
We could be Captain Marvel.
This is a seamless transition. As someone who has worked in voiceover, I'm not really envious of anyone in Hollywood, because what I have learned, and I'm not gonna get too like conspiratorial, like fucking me, like red pill, whatever, but like I really don't care for working in like entertainment industries. YouTube already has like a little bit of a slice of that in terms of like how the communities function. Just libel and rumors and gossip and shit is like extremely prevalent. It's just like a lot of really weird, childish, sort of high schooly behavior.
Oh yeah.
And I found voice acting to be no different. Where it's just very much like the popular kids table, you know? If you know the right people, if you have the right connections, if your parents are like rich and powerful and famous and stuff. Like,
sure.
I remember there like Rooster Teeth got in like hot water or something. I mean, for a fucking number of reasons. But there was like some black.
For the example.
There was some black actress they had, and she got a bunch of harassment or something like that online, and like the showrunners didn't like do anything, didn't speak up or defend her or whatever, and she got like really bitter about it, and like later she left. And she mentioned how like the people at Rooster Teeth, their main concern, because her dad was like LeVar Burton, or like the dude from that black dude from Star Trek. Yeah, him.
Reading Rainbow, Star Trek, Community.
Yeah, like their entire thing was like, is your dad going to hate us? Like that was their, not like, are you going to be okay, but like, our media connections, you know?
Yeah, and dude, that's always been icky for me.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I'm trying to relish the current position that I am.
Sure.
In, because like I don't want to sound too pompous.
I mean, I will say briefly.
I know people.
Yeah. No,
sure.
For sure. I was just gonna say I will say that probably about 60 to 70% of people in the voiceover sphere are like genuinely decent people that are just trying to do the right thing and trying to just be good human beings. And then there's a lot of bad actors. And there's a lot of people that know what the thing you need to say is in order to, you know, like the right political opinions to have and that sort of thing.
Right.
In order to like get ahead and secure like a powerful position for yourself at like a studio or like a, you know, an agency or like whatever. And
by the way, Chase is a far centerist, so don't want to upset him.
I will have neutral feelings on everything. No, I just
I feel indifferent.
It's interesting because like, you know, I'm liberal and everything, but it's like I'm not liberal enough for a lot of folks. And it's
or you don't put on like a liberal persona online
Right.
as much as someone else might.
Well, I mean, it's like if you want to hear like super fucking liberal ideals, just like go on Twitter. It's everyone says that shit.
Hey, I'll do you something better. Go on CNN.com.
Yes.
Blam.
That also works, yeah. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like people don't hear me constantly spouting like liberal opinions, so they assume that I must be conservative. And it's like, no, you just have a million avenues to go through to get that opinion.
Right.
Why would I say the same thing as being said a million other times? Like it's not original. I'm all about originality. That's like a big priority for me. Most of the time I tell people I'm a self-loathing liberal. Because I have a lot of liberal friends, and I consider myself a liberal, but like, holy shit, our party is fucking crazy sometimes, and it's not for the best.
I think it's I think it's healthy to criticize things within your own party.
But it's great because like if
that's how you're gonna get better.
Yeah, if you're a minority group, if you're Asian or like my friend's Hispanic, and I think he's conservative, and so
I doubt it.
He kind of lost his Hispanic card because a lot of liberals can't use him as like a prop to hide behind. Like, I'm fighting against racism against Hispanics, and he speaks up like, you don't speak for me. And they're like, well, you're a racist. You have self-racism or some weird shit. And it's just like, okay, like, it's just really weird. I tend to not touch on politics too much these days, just because it's so hopeless. It's like, why? Here's how I rationalized it a long time ago. I'm not a political activist. I'm not going to go out with a sign and chanting in crowds. I'm just some fucker that's at home I'm playing Animal Crossing as we speak. Like just playing games and reviewing them.
Wow, thanks, Chase.
That's my purpose in this lifetime. Is I'm not here to divide people and be like, if you voted for Trump, fuck you, like get all in their face and shit. I think that's just so unpalatable. And not to say there's no validity in doing that or anything, but you
don't want to make that your personality trait.
Yeah, it's like, because a long time ago I felt that way. I was like, it's one of my responsibilities to, as a voting American or whatever, to get really involved and have a voice and have a say. And it was so polarizing. Like, I was losing friends left and right because I either was too liberal for some or not liberal enough for others, or I was like, oh, you're a fucking centrist. And it was just a losing game. And I definitely started to feel like there is no, and like, it's not like me, one fucking dude is making a massive, I could maybe in my lifetime probably influence legitimately like 30 people. Is that really worth dividing your entire fucking friend group and like alienating your family members for not having the as extreme enough opinions as you do? It just, the whole thing struck me as just a complete act of futility. It felt like very quickly, I was like, this isn't really for me. This is kind of icky, like you said.
So, yeah, So, if you disagree with Chase, you're getting blocked on Twitter.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I will block you.
That's what I got from the
I'll
conversation.
ban you from the Reddit that I don't have.
But the original point I was saying is that I feel very lucky to be in the position that I'm in, because I'm not as known as some of my other friends, but
Right.
I do know some more prominent friends in the community or whatever, and I'm trying to really relish this time that I'm sort of unknown.
I want a hot dog now.
Where
Relish.
Get
That sounds good. Doesn't it?
I'm not a relish guy. I'm not a pickle guy
Okay,
or
well,
anything. I'm not.
I'll see you later.
Not.
Just fucking block you.
Anyways,
Go on,
this is the Gage show, and we are a pro relish thing. I have to go on Twitter and defend my relish position. But no, I feel very, very lucky at this time, being like, people kind of know who I am, but at the same time, I could just say whatever shit or make whatever art that I want. Like, I just made a video on Beautiful Joe, a 20-year-old game. And it's very liberating to express that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I do miss being smaller and not having everything I say be like nitpicked to fucking hell and back, where it's like, here's, like, I think John Trump put it best, where he's just like, you go on social media, you're like, oh, I love peanuts. He hates cashews. So when his fucking gets really mad at him, like that's kind of what it's like navigating the internet sometimes, is people just are willing to look for like the worst possible fucking thing that you didn't say, and go, oh, well, it's the insinuation. It's the read between the lines, you know? But it's like back when I was smaller, no one really gave a shit what I said because I was just some loser. But now it's like apparently I'm a public figure. And if I call someone a fucking loser, I'm defacing the public, you know? So it's like this whole thing these optics you gotta keep in mind.
My opinion is that you're not just a public figure, but a public loser. So
yeah, no,
I think it all evens out.
That's not, you're not wrong the more you think about that. But it's just like, you know, I going back to earlier, I think that in terms of like political shit, it's valid, yes, it's important. I am just some fucking doughy piece of shit loser who reviews video games, and that's my lot in life, and I'm fine with that. And I should cater to that strength, and not try to. Too many YouTubers you see end up getting really big, and then they get greedy and they go, I want to be even bigger. What do I have to do to be bigger? Oh, spout the safest possible opinions that everyone is already saying 300 times a day. Not to say that, you know, these people are all fucking fakes and 100% of what they're saying is, oh, they're just pandering. But, you know, there are 1,000%, I promise you, I give you my word, there are 1,000% people that go out there and they go, what's everyone agreeing is the right opinion? Okay, I'm just going to side with that then. Just to secure my position as like a fucking Hollywood actor, so I keep getting work. You know, like if you don't give a shit about politics, but you're in Hollywood, you have to pretend to give a shit about politics because it's like that's the only way to keep getting work. Because in an artistic field, being liberal is like the most important thing because it's seen as like the most antithetical thing to like, I guess,
digestible, dare I say?
And yeah, it's just it seems to be if you're in the arts, you're liberal, and if you're in the arts and not liberal, you're a fucking outcast, and you will be blacklisted just because your views are inherently problematic or what have you. But it's just, yeah, my whole thing is I just really like analyzing video games and anime and talking about, like, I like talking about shit I'm really fucking passionate about. It helps me jump out of bed in the morning, you know?
How dare you talk about things that
you enjoy,
you like?
You fucking
Every
optimistic.
time like a YouTuber or something posts like, I got a mean comment on Twitter, and I'm like, how dare you speak your passion and speak your truth?
You like things?
You like
Disgusting.
things and you want other people to enjoy them?
I spit on you. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
It's silly.
It's but I more than anything, I just really like Monster Hunter. It's my main thing. That's all I care about in this lifetime. I was going on and on about Monster Hunter earlier before we started recording.
Oh yeah. There's a new one coming out. I think it's called Rise. Monster Hunter Rise.
So I'm gonna wait until Monster Hunter Rise comes to PC, which it presumably is, because I don't think I want to play another action game locked at 30 FPS. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, you're telling me about that because you have PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 Pro.
I got a PS4 Pro just to play Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter World Iceborne at 60 FPS or something resembling 60 FPS, and not just 30 or 24 FPS or whatever. It was night and day. I was so much better at the game as a result. But it's just Rise. So like the weird thing about Rise is I don't think that I don't think it's gonna be that interesting to me, but everyone is insisting that like the combat is so much more fresh. And after I've seen enough gameplay, I agree with them.
Is it exclusively on next-gen consoles?
It's going to be on the Switch, and then I think
I
think it's getting a PC port later. Which if that's the case, I will definitely buy it. But I just don't think I want to play it on the Switch. I don't know. It doesn't really look that fun to me. Like they have a whole thing with like
Switch 60 FPS docked. No. What I'm thinking is that undocked it's 720p, and docked it's 1080.
I think that's a lot of the
That's what I'm thinking.
Dude, it's really weird because my Switch, it was like launch Switch. Like I got it like the first, like the day of.
Me too.
I pre-ordered it. I was one of the lucky few. And it's starting to do this thing now where every now and again if I boot it up from sleep mode, it'll be like in the fan.
Oh no.
And then it'll stop. And I'm like, okay. And I'm not that worried because apparently like the Switch Pro or some shit is going to come out at some point, like probably in the next like 2 years. And so I'm just like,
and apparently it's really easy to back. Yeah, sorry, it's really easy to back up your data on Switch and transfer it to another console.
Yeah, pretty much just like an SD card, I think. So you just pop it in the new one. But yeah, no, I think I'll get a Pro at some point, just because it's like if it's a game console I'm gonna play a lot. Like PS5, zero interest in getting a PS5 whatsoever, despite the fact that it looks cool, and I sort of have a tendency to be a Sony guy. But yeah, I mean, fucking PC everything. Have I told you about Plex? I don't know if I've told you about this.
No, sir.
Okay, so I talked to fucking Chris about this, and he knew, which I'm pleased that he knows, because he seems like one of the people that would benefit from it the most. But like Plex.tv, Plex.tv, is it's like a thing you can use to stream your own content. Let's say you have like a big Blu-ray collection, right? Rip the Blu-rays digitally, put them on your computer, put them in a folder. Put that folder in a directory, install Plex, install the server. It sounds complex. It's not. It's not even remotely complex.
Complex.
Yeah. You literally download Plex and you tell it, hey, what's up?
No, it was just like you totally brushed over that pun. Complex. And you're like, oh, yeah.
No,
Anyways.
I just, because you cut out, I just heard Plex, and I was like, oh, he's confirming the name. But like,
I made a really funny pun.
That was good.
Bro.
That was good. I'd like to validate you in hindsight, but I missed it at the time. But
a retroactively
validating you, exactly. But like, it's basically, in so many words, it's a personal Netflix server. You can put whatever you fucking put porn on there. Who cares? Like, you do whatever, and you can watch it on any device in your house on your network. Like, it has to be inside your house, right? Like on your Wi-Fi. But your PS4, your Xbox One, I don't think it's on Switch. Your mobile device, your tablet, smart TV,
on Roku?
whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
I got one of those.
All of the anime that I have legally acquired through legitimate means, I put those. Don't fucking sue me.
Okay.
I put them all on Plex, and I can just watch them anytime, anywhere. And whenever a new anime comes out, whenever a new anime season comes out or whatever, I can just drop it on Plex, and my girlfriend and I will be in bed. She's like, "Oh, you fucking want to watch new JoJo?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and we just like binge it that way. So it's great, and it's great because you can also, if you put dual, you know how like some things will be like dual audio, and you go into the menu and you're like language, English or Japanese, both in terms of subtitles and in spoken language. Yeah, you can switch between subtitles on or off, the spoken language, like on the fly. Like while
that's
streaming.
really
Yeah, so like on Netflix, you can go and it's like, oh, what audio language do you want? English, Japanese, Russian, French, Spanish. It's like you can do that shit as long as you have like the file for it. And same with subtitles. You can be like, I just want closed captions. I want English translation, etc. Fucking
interesting.
Fucking I was downloading Game of Thrones, and it's like I realized that the Dothraki or whatever they're called, you can't the fucking ice zombie people. You can't like understand what they say when they speak their native tongue, and apparently you're not supposed to. But I looked it up, and apparently you can download an SRT file, like a subtitled file that lets you like hear. Understand
I work with SRTs.
Oh, okay, really interesting. What does that involve?
Yeah. That just involves listening to something, reading the script, and going like, yeah, at this part they say this, at that part they say that.
So basically, like time coding and shit.
It out. Yes, sir.
You'll have to teach me how to do that, because I would like to do something like that for.
Yeah, it's a free program. And you can just drag in any old file and make an SRT for it.
Really? Does it automatically do the time code for you? You just have to write down what's being said?
Yeah, you just have to. It doesn't automatically like, oh, this is where they start talking, but you can easily click, okay, this is where they start.
Oh, okay.
And this is where they
and then
stop.
It'll
I
code
can
that
confirm
into
that,
like
and
time
next
code
line.
format, so you don't have to worry about like milliseconds and shit.
Yeah, really, Aegis Sub, I believe the program is.
You need to link that to me, because I will definitely check that out from like my YouTube stuff.
I'm doing that right effing now.
I'm gonna do that right this very second. Oh.
Shout out to James from Pokemon.
Eric Stewart. He also did Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's right, he did.
He did,
and I think he was Kaiba
he did
as well.
Brock from Pokemon. Yeah, he did Kaiba as well. Yeah, there's a lot. He's kind of an asshole. You'll hear voice acting rumors.
Dropping hot voice acting gossip on the cast.
Yeah. You'll hear fucking rumors that like, because apparently Little Karibo did his Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series thing where like he had Kaiba had like the screw the rules. I have money, like all that shit. And like, apparently Eric Stewart thought that like that was like a jab at him, and he took it personally, and he was being fucking like salty at a panel or something. Like he didn't appreciate all the constant fucking references to the Abridged series, and I think he just kind of lost his patience for it at cons. So he seemed like someone that takes himself a little bit seriously. But fans are also really fucking cringy and annoying. So I don't necessarily. I'm not eager to, put him on the chopping block. But it is
Subscribe to Gage Agnew if you want.
Make sure to smash that like button. Thanks. Whoa.
Smash that like button. Be my fan. Go to Patreon.
It's funny because like I'm gonna have to start doing that soon because like before I was like, people aren't dumb. They know to do that, and now I'm like, do they know to do that? My numbers are not great. Like, I guess I.
Oh no, neither is mine. But I just do it for fun. So I'm not too worried about it.
Right. It's fucking part of my livelihood. But like
yeah, no, I'm not harping on it at all. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's like, how do you do it without being so mechanical? Like, do you just say smash like the bell and then just fucking move on? You know what I mean? Like, because everyone that says, hey guys, make sure to hit that like button if you like what you see, and hit the bell notification if you want to see more. It's every fucking one. My least favorite one is when you're watching a video and they want to do that without interrupting the video. So what they do instead is they have this big fucking animation slide on screen. Everything fucking wobbles. Whoa, look at how cool. I can use easing keyframings in my fucking videos. What do you say?
They do it before the video too, like this video. And
dude, I saw a video where he did it 4 times in the course of a 10-minute video. Just constant, the same animation where it's the mouse cursor goes to the sub button, it goes
right, and it
goes
clicks
click, and it goes to the bell, and it goes
and then
ding,
it clicks the bell,
and then it goes ding, and it goes off screen. It's like, fuck you. I hate that. I'm actively not going to sub to you because that was so fucking obnoxious. Like, it's like watching like those like little kid toy channels. And that's how they're talking to you.
Yeah, it's like jingling. Yeah, they're like jingling keys in your face and being like, "You want to subscribe?
I hate that. That pisses me off so bad. Every time that happens, I'm just like, fuck you. I'd use much stronger language, but I don't know what you want to edit out, and I don't want to make the joke make no sense.
oh yeah. We're fine. We're fine without that.
I was gonna say like, fucking kill yourself.
That is a bit extreme for subbing 3 times.
I mean, I wouldn't actually suggest that they do that, but that's like the level of frustration. I'm just like, I hate you so much as a person.
I hate you not just as a creator, but as a human being.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's so, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying about like the sliminess of like sort of YouTube circles in Hollywood and shit. It's like, you get a lot of that where it's like, hey guys, I'm a fucking robot. I'm a product of all of my environment and my colleagues in this industry. Everyone does this, so it's okay if I do it too, and there's nothing weird about it. And I don't need to think about it any deeper than that.
And manufactured.
If everyone does it, it must be okay. You know, there's nothing soulless or fucking cringe about it at all. And
I vlogged a guy in the forest.
Yeah. Hey guys, make sure to smash that bell. It's like, fuck off.
Yup.
But yeah. Oh, you were
Oh yeah, that's.
Speaking of soulless hacks, shippage. I'm just kidding. you were.
Oh yeah. I had shippage on Mildly Familiar, and you commented on that video, being like, I had no idea what ship looked like, and I voiced in Smashtasm, and I'm like, that's interesting because I never knew that about Chase.
Yeah. So it was interesting because I think I was like fresh out of high school. I was like 17, 18. And I used to go on the Voice Acting Alliance or the Voice Acting Club. I'm not sure if that's defunct yet, but back in the day, the consensus was that there were 2 places to go to get voice acting auditions. And it wasn't like real voice acting. It was just kind of like hobbyist shit to like, get your chops improved and, like practice. And the Voice Acting Alliance was a website where everyone would host auditions for everything and nothing would ever get completed. Because there's a bunch of fucking weeaboos and gamers who were like, I really think this would be really fun. Then they realize how much work it's going to be, and then they go, oh, I hate work, and then they just abandon it. They just stop. Whereas the Voice Acting Club was the place you can go to actually have a chance of getting paid work, because more legitimate places would go there, because it was less like, let's dub an anime for fun, and more like, I need voices for this game, or this radio play, or like whatever. And I think I saw, it might have been the Voice Acting Club, I saw Shippage had posted, hey, I'm doing a fucking Super Smash Bros. Like like parody animation, like a machinima thing, and I was like, oh, okay. And I checked it out, and it was just like, oh, here's a bunch of characters, and I don't remember who I auditioned for exactly, but I did get a character called. He's like a one-shot character called. I don't even remember what he's called. He's so one note, but he's just. It's like Meta Knight. He's like a Meta Knight character. And he is, he's like a fucking try-hard roleplay, like, I just gave him a Solid Snake voice. I'm like, oh my god, it's Super 64. And you can, I'll send you the clip, you can play it here. But it's-
How old? Okay.
It's just me doing like a Solid Snake impression on like $100 Shure SM7B or whatever that I had in my fucking college dorm room. I didn't have any padding or acoustical treatment at all, so just everything was like I didn't have any idea what audio editing even involved. So
it was all for display right there.
It was shit. I was bad, but it worked out.
I wasn't gonna say that, but you said it.
It worked out for what Chip needed, and it was fun because like it's just the lines were like oh crap, it's like kind of I think younger audience, so he'd be like oh crap, it's Super 64. Well, at least he can't
crap.
hear me. And they're like, did you hear something? And I'm like, oh crap, well at least he can't see me. I'm like, hey, who's that? And it's just like, oh, nice try, Super 64. And I knew nothing about this fucking series. I loved Smash, and I was big about like Brawl and stuff. I thought it was really neat. But I knew nothing about this extended universe. I just knew that there was a character that was like Samus, and they were like the Patrick Star to SpongeBob in terms of like just kind of their dynamic. And I watched like some episodes, but it's been so long, I recall none of it.
I watched some of the first episode and said, I think I'm good, and I stopped before I interviewed Chip.
I mean,
don't tell Chip, but
yeah, this is a product of its time. I think we can agree his Squirrel Squad is fucking really good. So like that's kind of his main thing now.
Yeah, Chip has evolved as a creator.
Does he do Smash Dash himself anymore? I don't know if he does.
He doesn't. And what's interesting, what he told me, is that fans of Smash Tasm really liked it so much that he said, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so they created their own ending.
Oh.
And the ending that they made, Ship said, yeah, it's in spirit with the series, but it's also in spirit of what I would do when I was much younger.
Yeah, good enough. He's like, you know what? That is fine. I don't care enough to be like,
yeah,
no,
that's
it's
basically
not.
what he said.
He said he's just like, I'm fucking past it. Whatever. It's good enough. It's fine. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. It was a little nice, and it was a little indicative of how he grew.
I'm sure he has enough shit on
always
his plate too to not be like, no, my Smash Machinima has to end like fucking this, and if you do anything other than that, I'm gonna DMCA you, you little pussy. Like he doesn't strike me as a control freak. In the
Sure.
slightest.
Yeah, that's like what I do. But
strikes me as someone that's much more laissez-faire than that. But
yeah, shout out to Ship, love him to death. He actually wrote me a Christmas card.
You started to talk about that. I don't know if he's gonna watch this.
Guy.
I mean, maybe you could just link him to it and be like, oh, here's the fucking guy. You can't.
Yeah, I'll give him a little clip.
I mean,
if he's
I do want to
interested.
say I barely know Shippage. I just know he makes funny tweets from time to time. But he seems like a really cool guy, and if he ever wanted to talk, I'd be down because he seems. I mean, his 3D modeling alone. I'd really like to know more about that. Because dude, like that's like the next big thing right now is people. Whether they're using Blender or Maya or like, fucking Unity or like what have you. I don't think Unity you can sculpt or anything. But like it's really impressive. My girlfriend's actually getting into like kind of 3D multimedia design shit because that's what she really wants to do. And it's so cool. Like I'm having to commission a bunch of expensive shit because I want to do more VR chat content. So I was telling you before we started recording, I want to do like VR chat interviews where it's like this, but with avatars and full body tracking, and it's like very visually engaging. And
would the avatar be of a character of someone else or an original character?
My avatar would be my avatar, like my YouTube, the purple thing and the spiky hair and all that shit.
Right, the Chaseface.
The Chaseface brand, yeah. And sorry, did I talk to Jeff just now?
That was a very bad impression. that was a very bad
Johnny
impression.
Utah. But like,
shout out to Johnny Utah.
But like, yeah. So it would just be that, and then the guest, whoever I'm interviewing, like, if I interviewed Chris or whatever, he could be fucking Crash Bandicoot. Who cares? Nostalgia critic, don't care.
Yeah, that's what I wanted
and
to
they
know,
could
if
be
it would,
they could
like
be
a
desktop or
copyrighted
they could be
character.
VR, totally up to them. And the cool thing is, if we ever just like, we'd start off in like kind of my studio, like the place, like my high-rise cyberpunk apartment thing that I'm currently designing with a friend. That would be like the sort of
Nice.
ground. That would be sort of the like the home base. And if we get bored, it's like, hey, let's have a change of scenery. We just go to a new world, and it'll be them recording their view, me recording my view, and my friend being the cameraman who has a neutral view. So that way we can switch between them all seamlessly. And kind of have like a little bit more of a cinematic quality to it, because when it comes to real interviews, you don't just have one static angle. It's, you cut between them.
Yeah, it's
So if we get bored,
multicam.
it's like, oh, let's go to a beach area and let's like talk while we look at the sunset. Let's talk while we fucking sit in an igloo in a fucking like a fucking icy world or whatever. And like VR stuff.
And that would be great to put ambient.
VR chat being, sorry, I keep cutting you off. I'm almost done. VR stuff being so dependent on like 3D assets and 3D modeling and everything. Like, you can make fucking bank, or you can create worlds if you know how to do 3D shit. And it's just insane to me because it's very daunting. Like, it's super fucking hard to figure out if you're just a normal dude like me.
Yeah.
But if you're an artist and you want to delve into 3D art, it's just a natural extension of that. And it's so cool. So like, Ship is just like a fucking genius for even knowing how to fucking animate that shit. And kudos. If you wanna
Yeah,
you wanna talk sometime, give me a call, handsome boy. Mwah, love you, Ship. Go on though. Sorry.
Actually, yeah, that's one of the things I did want to talk about, like online relationships and social media
Yes.
and such, because you have a video called "YouTubers Are Not
It's
Your
true, they're
Friends," where you ramble. Yeah, Chase is my friend,
Yeah,
by
fuck
the way.
you.
I don't like him at all.
Die.
But yeah, it's a very clear divide between the artist and the audience, and who exactly crosses that line and what exactly crosses that line is entirely subjective. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about it and the friends you've made online.
It's actually interesting.
How you made friends
sorry, go
online
on.
and how you decide not to make friends online. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say that it's interesting because I have a number of friends who will, we're not like super tight, but like we're acquaintances or like we're colleagues, and they'll say, oh, I just rewatched your YouTubers Aren't Your Friends thing, and I realized, oh, did I do this? And I'm really sorry if that came off like I was trying to use you. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're fine. And it's cute to see people like watching that. Basically, in so many words, I made a video talking about like people trying to use you for your fame. If you find even like a fucking smidgen of success on YouTube, people trying to people trying to mooch, people kind of exploiting you for your end goals, people trying to buddy up with you and be like, I'm your friend, and people kind of abandoning you when things get even remotely rocky, or like someone accuses you of something, and that's when like that's when you know who your real friends are.
You're
and that
not,
sort of thing.
You're not picking out any particular example in your head. You're just kind of riffing off the top of your head,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, really, like, it's interesting because every major like internet personality that I've ever seen or interacted with, they've all had shit flung at them because Twitter's a terrible hellscape, one, and two, it's just, you have to question people's motives. If someone says something really bad about you, and let's say that like if I have like 50 subs and 2 followers on Twitter, and
Congratulations.
I make a post and I say Markiplier is a bad guy. I interacted with him one time and he was less than enthusiastic and he's fake. He doesn't actually care about his fans. I think he's a piece of shit. I would be doing that for attention because that would get you a lot of likes. And like, there's one particular guy who makes it a habit to take every possible opportunity he can to be like, fuck Chaseface on Twitter. And every time he does, he gets like 30, 40 likes. And then when he doesn't, if it's just a normal mundane thing, like 2 likes. So it's like you figure out
It's that drama money, baby.
What'd you say?
I said it's that drama money,
Yeah,
baby.
I mean, you figure out the fucking motive pretty quickly. It's like, is this person actually genuinely trying to help, or is this just like blood sports to them, But like, so for context, I made that video basically talking about like how people in YouTube circles, maybe referring to one particular circle, maybe, are very, very hot and cold, very slimy. Like, oh yeah, I'm your best friend. And then the moment that it benefits them, they'll turn against you and be like, oh, he's fucking bad guy, he's mean. And
right, I have the dagger squared at your back, ready to go.
No,
Anyways,
I mean, you are a YouTuber after all, so.
Yeah.
But and yeah, like it was just sort of a it was also a bit of an analysis on like interacting with one's fans and what that entails and how to navigate that. So like, if you're the kind of content creator who's like, I'm gonna heart every single comment I get, I'm gonna respond to every single comment with empty platitudes of, oh, thank you, smiley, haha, I'm so nice, I love my fans. That can come off as really fake. And then there's some people who will see that and they'll be like, oh, we're friends now. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to add him on Steam. And then you're trying to keep up the whole fucking facade of like, I'm so nice and happy and I love my fans. And then you get some bad actors in there who are like, oh, he's open to fans. I'm gonna ask him if he can fucking promote my music video that's gotten 2 views or some shit. And how me being a little bit like cagey about that stuff has led some people to be like, oh, he's a fucking asshole. He hates his fans. He's arrogant is always the one you hear. It's just, if you're even remotely cold or closed off.
You've changed, Chase. You've changed.
Say it again?
I said you've changed, Chase. You've changed. We used to be best friends.
You get a lot of projection just thrust upon you based on other people's sort of cynicism. So it's like if you've been hurt in the past and you're kind of cold and closed off and have trust issues, people will easily mistake that fucking intense shyness for, oh, he thinks his shit smells like fucking roses or like whatever, like, oh, he thinks he's hot shit, he thinks he's fucking awesome. And it's like, no, I just have trust issues and abandonment issues and trauma. Welcome to my life.
You're just human. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's, and it's interesting because some of that stuff bleeds into my relationships. Like, my fucking partner is amazing. She's the most amazing partner I've ever had in my entire life, and we're extremely happy together. But every now and again, I'll have this weird, like, PTSD flashback where, because I've been cheated on a lot I'm not gonna get, like, too deep, so don't worry. The divorce has really affected me.
Yeah, your ex is, like, on the other line, by the way.
We'll tell her, fuck off.
Oh, okay. No, okay. We're hung up. She's hung up.
But like, good. Fuck off. Hope she dies. But it's like, I've had a lot of relationships in the past where I've tried to be really good to my partner and I've been cheated on, and it's like really kind of giving me a chip on my shoulder, so to speak. And not to say that like I'm innocent and they were all fucking Jezebels and I did nothing wrong, because in hindsight I'm like, oh, there were plenty of things I could have done way better in that relationship, etc. But there'll be times in my relationship where I will like catch my girlfriend telling me like a white lie, something really innocuous. Like, she's not really doing anything bad, but and I'll just get really upset with her and be like, you lied to me, therefore this, therefore that, therefore that, therefore that. If you lied to me about this, why wouldn't you lie to me about that? And it's just like this whole weird line of trauma. And she has to be like, babe, it's fine. Like, I'm not. And I'm like, you're right, I'm sorry. Like, it's this really weird association where it's like the genuine trauma of being like, fucked over by people and everything really sticks with you. And that carries over into all sorts of social spheres. Most notably YouTube, where it's like, when I started off my YouTube channel, I wanted to be all Markiplier-like. It's like, I love my fans, I want to be friends with each and every one of my fans. And you quickly realize a lot of your fans, they just don't view you as an object. They view you as just like an entertainment machine. And so that's not feasible. You don't get to walk up to someone. You don't get to walk up to fucking, to goddamn Jimmy Kimmel and be like, I love the Jimmy Kimmel show. We're friends now. Let's hang out. Coffee at 6. See you there. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, no, that's not how the world works, baby. That's not how Hollywood works. Yeah, when you said that initially, it kind of reminded me of our first interaction, because I think you followed me on Twitter, and I'm very, very positive on Twitter to an extent that I can easily see people say, oh, this guy's just projecting, or oh, this guy's fake. And I think that drove you away. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So what happened, it was really just kind of dumb. It's like, usually on Twitter, if I see someone that I have mutual friends with, I'll follow them. And then if they follow me back, I'm like, all right, cool. And then if they don't, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I kind of overstepped my bounds, and then I'll unfollow them feeling somewhat ashamed. But then there are other situations where I'll be like, oh yeah, like if I'm in a bad mood, because I can be kind of a dick. I can be kind of in a bad space sometimes. I'll be like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome. We totally make great friends, and we've had a few interactions that were really nice. And then he won't follow me back, and I'm like, oh, this guy seems like kind of a dick.
Son of a
and
bitch!
then I'll fucking and then I'll unfollow them. Like there's this guy on Twitter named Weekend Warrior, and don't worry, you don't have to cut this out. And he's like a nice guy. He's part of this community I'm in called EFAP. Really nice dude. From everything I can see, just super fucking chill, great sense of humor, like shit posting, likes the same kind of political takes that I do. Just like cool guy. I think he's like Filipino or something like that. And he's like the only other resident weeaboo in this EFAP sort of movie critique / analysis community that I'm a part of. And it was really odd because I would follow him. He wouldn't follow me back. I'd unfollow. Like, oh, maybe that was too overzealous of me. I'd make a tweet. He would like it. I don't know how he would see it. He would just find it and like it. And I'm like, oh, cool. We're of like mind. I'd fucking try to follow him. Wouldn't follow me back. What the fuck? Why isn't he following me back? And so it's like,
How many times have
like
you
3
done
times.
this?
Well, no, like
wow.
2 times actually. And after the second time, I was like, all right, whatever.
Oh, okay. All right, that's not as
And then
bad.
after people tried to fucking like destroy my life on Twitter, and he saw how much of like bullshit it was, and he saw that like it was really unfair. Then I think he liked me. He followed me kind of out of solidarity. He's like, you don't deserve this. But
Yeah.
as to why he did the things earlier, I can't say. But it's and with you, it was like. I initially was just like, oh, this guy seems really nice. I'm going to be friends with him because he seems really open, and I'm friends. I like being friendly with really open, really positive, really nice people. And, consistently you've shown that the sort of persona you put on social media is not an act. Like, from what I can tell so far, it seems like this is you and who you are.
I can easily see, though, how people are like, yeah, you phony fake. You're just saying that for virtue points.
Yeah, because a lot of people will do that. A
Well,
lot of people will be like, hey, guys, hope everyone's day was great today. Let's all be positive. And it's like, you don't fucking mean that,
yeah,
you know?
I don't.
No one's that
I don't
happy.
fault them for. Yeah, I don't fault people for being like, oh, he's over positive and he's just trying to compensate for something.
Sure.
That's 100% true. But I try to practice what I preach a little more than what I think.
I mean, I
others
remember
might.
you talked a little bit about like having anxiety and stuff, and it's like that's a lot of people deal with grief and depression and anxiety and like social anxiety and stuff like that in different ways. And I think it's interesting because a lot of the people who tend to have those problems the most seemingly go into entertainment and want to end up doing something like more comedically oriented, something to make people smile or laugh. It's like they're dealing with their own very deep-seated sense of existential emptiness. And
Right.
I've definitely
I think I posted something like that, but I try not to use my mental illnesses as a shield. They're a part of me, but they aren't me.
I do. I like
easiest
to
way
use them as a
describe it.
shield. If I ever say or do anything stupid, it's because I have anxiety and you can't get mad at me. Just saying.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, there you go.
Shit, I'll do
Fucking
that.
on the fucking table. But yeah, no, I find that like I, for example, have like a lot of darkness in me just because I'm not going to fucking get super real on the podcast. But like I kind of had some shitty stuff happen to me in my childhood. And, part of it was like kind of self-fulfilling prophecy once I like got older and I didn't really know how to socialize that much. But it definitely made me bitter for like a long time. Just like, oh, fucking people suck, blah, all that stuff. So it's like, while my outlook is probably better now than it's ever been in my entire life, and things are really looking up and everything. And I see you've been also getting quite fit too. So I hope that rings true for you as well.
Thanks,
you're
man.
looking good. Mwah. Kisses. Handsome
Mwah.
boy. I think that I really do appreciate all the terrible shit that happened to me because it really gives me a lot of context for like where things are now and how much better my situation is. And I don't.
It gives you a good contrast.
Yeah. And I think that having a lot of fucked up things happen to you in the past really it gives your life texture. You know what I mean? It really gives you like. Within reason, you don't want to fucking lose all your limbs in a car crash or some shit, but like, it's builds character. That phrase that means nothing that your parents always said. Builds character.
It's the classic Calvin and
Yes,
Hobbes
it builds character.
catchphrase.
Yeah, I fucking love that shit. But that's actually one of the reasons I got into psychology was because I felt like an inherently broken person when I was younger, and I wanted to understand why that was. Definitely gave me a lot of answers for sure. More than philosophy did anyway. Holy shit, that was a mistake to take that class. Go into a philosophy class, leave with more questions than you had going in.
Yeah. But online relationships have always been kind of tricky for me just because I'm like, I like this person. I've talked to him once or twice over voice chat. Are we friends?
Right.
I'm not sure. Because I've crossed that line before where I'm like, hey, we're good friends, right? And they're like,
What?
no.
Yeah. Who are
and
you?
I'm like, what the
I actually
fuck?
I had that
I talked
last
to you
night.
like 12
so
times.
I had a friend do something.
Oh, no.
I had a friend do that with me where like he I told you about like I was having some Twitter drama or whatever, like someone was misrepresenting me. And it like blew the fuck up. It got like a ton of likes. Over what I originally meant to be like a joke tweet.
Yes.
Yeah. It got like fucking 20,000 likes or some shit. I was like, holy, what the fuck? And it was really, and it made me really anxious. And then things died down. And then like the next day, someone else posted it and got it even bigger. And my friend messaged me, hey, have you seen this? And I just said to him, never, ever, ever link me to some drama that someone's fucking trying to start about me. I don't care. It gives me anxiety. Please don't do that. And they're like, oh, my bad, dude, sorry. And I just didn't say anything because I was like fucking mad at them. Because they were someone that like...
Yeah, sorry about that, by the way. I shouldn't have sent that.
Fuck yourself, Gage. No, but it was like, you know, I could tell that they didn't mean to do any harm, but it was just, they didn't, it's like, why, what do I stand to gain from knowing, hey, did you hear this person fucking hates you and is publicly announcing it? It's like, hey, thanks, I'll use this fucking information practically now in my day-to-day. So I was just like mad at him. I didn't say anything. And he came back to me the next day and he's just like, hey, I'm really sorry about that. And I just said, oh, it's all good. I was just having a really like rocky few days and it just made me more anxious. And then he said, if you ever need anyone to talk to, I'm here. And I just said, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I barely fucking know you. And I just
Yeah, I was about to
I
ask.
just said that to him.
Is this someone you talk to?
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta, I'm big on diplomacy. I'm big on like really clarifying shit and making sure to communicate what I do and don't think, do and don't feel. Because I minored in comms in college, and it was like one of the best decisions ever because it taught me. I mean, it goes hand in hand with the fact that I never stop fucking talking, as you've noticed in this podcast.
I minored in film studies, and
there's just no bearing on it at all.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
got it. It's crystal clear. But yeah, and it was interesting because like I learned that like the best thing about communication, and not many people seem to understand like how this works in relation to diplomacy, is it's really important to sort of preface everything and explain, because people really like to read into shit. So it's really, really useful if you explain. So like for example, this guy, I said to him, I'll be honest, blank. I think you're a good guy. I like you. I don't have any negative preconceptions about you, but I really don't know you that well past just being an acquaintance. And I'm not saying this to discourage you. I'm not saying this to tell you to fuck off or whatever, because I don't. That's genuinely not how I feel. But it's just been something on my mind for a while that I've wanted to express, but I didn't really know how to say it. And then his response was like, yeah, thanks for telling me. I kind of had a feeling that like maybe I was forcing our friendship too hard. So like, thank you for telling me. And then we started having a genuine conversation about like, oh, yeah, how's your diet going? Oh, yeah, where do you live again anyway? Oh, you work at a hotel place in Illinois? Oh, shit, Illinois.
Broke down that
Yeah,
barrier.
Illinois has a lot of crime and governmental corruption, and the hotel you're working at doesn't get any funding from, like, the chain that it's a part of, like Hilton or some shit, I don't know. It's like, oh, you get fucking criminals, and the deposit for every hotel room is $50, so people come in, trash the fucking hotel, and then leave when the cops show up, and then you guys have to clean it up, so that's why you're quitting your hotel job and going into like 3D modeling full time. And it's just, so it's like after I expressed that to him, it didn't go the route of like, fuck off, never talk to me again, you piece of shit, actual hanger on, you know, and it actually kind of relieved some tension, and we got to talk, and I feel like we're closer now as a result, because I had the balls to communicate with him and say, hey, I'm upset at you about this thing or whatever. Instead of a lot of people, full circle, in the voiceover community who are really good at not ever communicating anything ever. And if they're upset with you, they just let it fester. And then when it explodes, they just go, oh, I'm just going to unfollow you and you're never going to know. So it's, you know, you get a lot of that childishness.
You're preaching to the choir here. I fester quite a bit.
I mean, you get a lot of that kind of childish, complete inability to communicate in a lot of situations.
Right, sort of high school
Yes.
drama-y
Yeah, absolutely. Genuinely, yeah.
situations.
And it's crazy to me because it seems like it should be so simple. You know, it should just be, hey, I'm upset at you over a thing. I just wanted to let you know. Oh, okay. Thanks. Sorry, I won't do that again. Yeah, no problem. Just letting you know.
I do hope people communicate with me and you a little more straightforward after this, just because it is for me it's very hard to see that line, just because I'm like I've met this person once or twice. I asked their advice on something. I don't know if we're exactly friends, but I would like to ask his or her advice on A, B, and C.
And I mean, you're in Hollywood, so like that shit is so fucking prevalent. It is insane.
Yes.
I forgot, are you in Burbank or some shit, or like, I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I was gonna say, if I were to say the city I'm in, you'd be able to find me quite easily. But Burbank, I'd imagine, is a much higher populated area. It's gonna be hard to find.
Yeah, I'm in the valley.
Yeah,
I'm in the
yeah,
valley.
gotcha.
That's all you need
I
to
just
know.
say Dallas, and people go, "Oh, there's just fucking 80 fucking cities."
Yeah,
around
people.
there.
Yeah.
But
When people, that's the funny thing about cities. When you name a city, people are like, "Oh, I don't know it." I'm like, "Oh, it's around Tallahassee, Pensacola."
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh, you live in
I lived
Pensacola."
in Minnesota in a place called Ann Arbor. No, I lived in a place called Saline, Michigan. And they go, "Where's that?" I go, "And the Detroit area." And they go, "Oh, okay." You just named the fucking biggest city there. And they go, "Yeah, got
You're
it."
from
Yep.
Detroit. Yeah, you
You're
round
from
up to the nearest city.
Round up to the nearest fucking city, numerically. But like with what you do, it's a lot of brown nosing. It's a lot of ass kissing. It's a lot of networking.
100%.
It's fake as fuck.
Not going to
So
deny that.
I told you
Not
about
gonna deny it one
that
bit.
friend that's like a mutual of ours, and like they were nice and everything, and I had no reason to doubt them, but they just had that air of like, I'm friends with everyone. I'm super nice and consistent. I don't have any enemies. And those are the people who are quickest to just fucking disown you over really inconsequential shit. And I already have enough trust issues. So now what I do is I just preemptively snipe people from my follower list. I just go, you seem really phony. Goodbye. And I just fucking soft block them. Not like with malice.
Well,
not like, fuck you, I hope you die in a car accident.
Sure, just like, I don't want to
exactly.
deal with
Just
this.
like, have a nice life, I'll see you later. I've gotten really good at it, dude. I'm telling you. Like,
See, that's what I initially thought was the case with you and I, because I thought I was saying positive shit, and you're like, I think he's fake as
no.
fuck.
I mean, there was definitely like a
And
hint of that, if I'm being completely honest, where I'm like, he could be one of these people. You know, like it was definitely present in the back of my mind. But I think that about everyone. Like I have such insanely deep running trust issues that even people that I feel genuinely close to.
I appreciate you being upfront.
Yeah, even people that I genuinely feel like close to. I go, I would not be surprised if this person turns out to know. Like I have like a local friend, and we like got sushi together, and we hung out, and we had like a lot of conversations, exchanged a lot of nice words. And then the moment that things got a little bit rocky for me publicly, he just outed with no word at all. And it's just like,
Those are the friends that you want behind your back.
yeah, of course,
Because they're the Hollywood elite.
yeah. And it's just like, I get it. Trust me, I fucking perfectly get it. If someone's trying to like ruin your reputation and like make things really hard for you and you know, just destroy you, and you are a public figure and you worry about your image, just send me a message and just say, hey man, I'm sorry this is happening to you. I gotta look out for myself. So I had a few people do that. They said, I gotta look out for myself. These people seem genuinely fucking unstable, and I'm worried they're gonna come for me next. So,
Would they have to put out like a
No.
statement of like?
they would just
all
kind of like unfollow me, and we're like still friends in private or whatever. And they
Sure.
they would say like, you know, hey, like, you know, I think you're cool and everything. There's no like hard feelings towards you or whatever, but like I just have to like publicly disconnect so people don't try to come after me because these people are fucking scary. And I go, yeah, dude, of course, I completely understand. Thanks for the heads up. And like I think that is so much more real than just going, fuck this guy. Like there was this dude who I could tell from the moment I met him that he was just a little ladder climber. But he was supportive at times, so I said, all right, sure, yeah, I'll follow you. And then later on, the moment things got remotely rocky and people tried to hurl shit at me, he just fucking unfollowed. And I was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I pinned you. I had you pegged so fucking good. And I went for it anyway. So it's just like...
Yeah, just my...
you get such a sixth sense for that shit, you know?
Yeah, just my short time on the internet, I realized I'm like, I'm gonna let this play out for a week or so, and usually it turns 90% of the time it ends up fine.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're a much
so yeah, don't judge
you're a
too
much more
quickly.
innocuous person than I am. I'm much
That's
more
true.
in your face with my views, and
Yeah, if I dislike you, you'll never know.
Exactly.
You'll never know. I might hate Chase. I might be ladder climbing right now. You don't know.
I mean, hey, I fell for it. You did a good job. You fucking deceived the shit out of me. dude.
Bazinga! But yeah, no, I thank you for being honest on this podcast. I appreciate
I mean,
you.
I was gonna say, like,
appreciate you being direct.
the other thing is that, and this is something that gets me in a lot of trouble, and I like to think it's just because text is so impersonal and imprecise and, like, whatever. But I like to go on Twitter and just say, Death Stranding sucks dick. It's fucking bad. And if you like it, you're stupid and you don't have a brain. I like to just do that because it's funny to me. It's funny to just go out there and be an asshole. And then people can respond like, "Yo, well, you like anime," and it's like, "Fuck you, dude." It's funny. It's funny to just shitpost.
That is a good counter argument, I will say.
Actually.
You
I
like
do.
anime.
They're
You
right.
have no opinion
They're right,
whatsoever.
and it really does severely water down my stance on fucking anything. But and it's funny because, like, I just do that kind of to be mischievous. I think mischief is really funny. I think it's genuinely hilarious to be like this game sucks. If you like it, you beat women. Or like, what? Just something. It's like, what? Where do you get that from? It makes no sense. It's stupid. And just like,
right,
and people.
but most people don't make that connection from A
And
to
people
C.
take everything extremely.
They just go,
like,
oh.
I said, I tweeted out, I said, like, people need to be more critical of media. And they need to, not just have such low standards that everything is a fucking 10 out of 10 all the time.
That is such a milquetoast
It
take.
is.
But anyways,
No, it
go
absolutely
on.
is. And like, people need to have higher standards when it comes to what they consume. They need to ask more questions. They need to be more perceptive about, like, why do I like this thing? Is this really that subversive? Is this a masterpiece? If so, why? Can I think of anything else that does this similarly, better, or worse, etc.? Because with video games, a lot of the time people will be like, if it's a horror game, oh, it's scary. It's a good game. This game has an emotional storyline. It made me cry. It's a good game. It's like, you need to be asking questions about all the smaller details too. Was this necessary to put in there? What was added by having this? Could this have been taken away? Did this need to be this long of a game? I made a response to that tweet. It wasn't that long. That would be a long fucking tweet. And I made a response to the tweet and I just said, just have better taste. It's easy. And then someone responded, they said, just get better taste? Bruh, what does that even mean? And I just responded, you must be new to my Twitter. It's like, you don't know what I'm fucking around. So it's just like, yeah, you get a lot of people that just it does not register for them at all when something is a joke.
Yeah, don't make the A to B
the absurdity,
connection.
the absurdism, if that's a word, is not like, they not even a fucking concept to them. So it's something where it's just very like, that's the easiest thing to get in trouble with on social media is people not realizing what jokes are. And there's a lot of humorless fucks out there,
Sure, yeah. And people who intentionally miss the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very tiring.
Chase, we've been going at this for 2 hours, man. Can you
I
believe
know.
it?
I kind of done talking to you forever, frankly. Like, this is all I need to get out, and then I'm gonna block you, and I just want to give you the heads up to be courteous.
Hell yeah! Well, thank you for being upfront with that, because otherwise I would be questioning it for the rest of my life. So thank you very much, Chase. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to put on this recording?
Don't sleep on VR, honestly. Like, it's expensive. Yeah, it's a bit niche. But I'm actually planning on making a, I mean, obviously, aside from the usual, like, thank you, and I've had a fucking great time talking to you. It's been really fun. I hope other people enjoy this. I'm definitely going to post it so that, people in my audience will check you out. And... What?
You're going to post it? Okay,
if that's okay with you, Mr. Gage.
I will grant you my permission. I'll allow
isn't that
it.
what you're after? And fucking ladder climbing and all that shit? Using me,
Oh
Yeah, there you
shit!
go.
Yeah,
You
I
forgot your
totally
whole
forgot.
narrative.
I was just having I was having a genuine good time. Fuck, I forgot.
But no, like, obviously, thank you for having me on. It's been fun. I hope, I think we've covered a broad range of subject for the most part that people will find interesting. At least I hope so.
Also, I wanna say I think this is our first time in VC together.
It is, actually. Yeah.
There might be once. It is? Okay, yeah. There might have been once or twice, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're hearing each other's voices.
We've
and
spoken
responding.
a lot through text, like tons and tons and paragraphs, and I've heard your voice. So like to me, it was basically the same thing. I may as well have just been talking to you through VC. Why are we saying VC? Voice chat is not much longer than saying VC. We're not abbreviating anything for brevity's sake.
Hey, the text log is in the description. You can just read that and get the same idea.
And just fucking leave. But yeah, in terms of closing thoughts, I mean, obviously I have my fucking channel. Just look up Chaseface. And it's ignore the thing that says Chaseface racist when you search my name, because I had a friend that made a fucking video, like a joking, like fake call out, like, is Chaseface racist? And you click on it, it's just like a shit post where it's something like taken out of context, make me sound bad or whatever. And then YouTube, like Google just latched onto that. They're like, is he racist? And they just made that a search recommendation when you search for me. So it just says Chaseface racist, and it's just like, okay. Like, I got to the point where I worked at a studio for a while before the pandemic hit. And my then boss, he's still a friend and everything, but my then boss Googled my name, and his response was, damn, you got some haters. It's so fucking good. I mean, like, not my name, but like my channel name and stuff. And it was so funny.
I'm surprised they didn't go chasist.
Yeah,
Get it?
You're not that original. I've heard that one before.
Question mark. That's.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
fuck me,
you.
whatever.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't sleep on VR. Like I said, look up all of the good games out there. I'm actually gonna be making a video once I get, all my ducks in a row, where I cover everything related to VR. It's probably gonna be like an hour. I cover the hardware side of it.
Check out Chase's channel. I really like diving into it and hearing about subjects I wouldn't often talk about or think about.
I think the thing I like the most about my channel is that a lot of people feel like they have to kind of be pigeonholed. It's like, this is an anime review channel. This is a movie review channel. This is a fucking music composition tutorial channel, whatever. I don't deviate, majorly from the subjects that I cover. It's usually video game reviews, anime reviews, like recommendations and shit, analysis, etc. But like, I fully reserve the right to just make whatever. It's like my personal channel, but I try to just make shit that I think people will find interesting. So it's
And I think that's what more people should strive for on their YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
you want to get the personality thing
putting
down.
themselves.
You want to make sure people realize that you're like a real person with values. And like every person I've talked to that started off as like a
What are this values thing? What's this values thing you're talking
elite,
about?
You wouldn't know that, would you? Just parroting the popular opinion. No, it's interesting because people who have like been fans and then they donate to my Patreon, and they start talking to me and they're just like, oh wow, you're just like a normal dude. And I'm like, yeah, I mean,
I've had that happen to me too, and I'm just like, dude, I'm just like a guy. I happen to be lucky to be in the position that I'm in. Yeah,
genuinely. I feel exactly the same way. It's like people talk to me, and I've gotten like fucking Steam friend requests from like some 12-year-old Guatemalan boy or whatever, and he's like, oh my god, I love your work so much, and he starts like fanboying, and I just go, dude, I'm just some fucking doughy 30-year-old. Like, I'm not that. I'm not even cool at all. I was gonna say I'm not that cool. I'm not cool, period. Like, you should see me. I'm rather depressing looking. And it's just like, you don't really, people are people consistently. People are people, so why should it be? You and I should get along so awfully. I think that's Depeche Mode, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not a band person, but if I may have some final thoughts. Chase, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you giving me the time to chat with you and to get to know you a little bit better. And thank you for opening my eyes to some media that I would have not quite seen before.
Yeah, definitely.
Go watch Better Call Saul.
Watch Better Call Saul. Go watch the Monster anime. Just look up Monster anime. Watch the sub version. Don't watch the dub. Dub's fucking bad, like always.
Oh shit! I was gonna cut out the monster version, but now I gotta keep that
Sounded
in.
really good. And yeah, dude, I mean, thanks for having me. And I mean, I say this just as, to someone that I consider like a friend. If you ever had any questions about like some of the deeper psychological parts of that stuff, if people are being shitty to you and it gets you down, or if you're ever anxious about something, then, hit me up, because I genuinely have like collegiate fucking vocational training in dealing with some of that stuff. So I'm always happy to.
We're not friends.
No, you're
We're
right,
not
sorry.
friends.
It's a
We're
little
not
weird of me to
friends.
get so gushy, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I mean, if you ever want to,
How dare you
if
gush
you ever
up.
want to let me pick your brain for like what you think about that sort of stuff, or if you ever have any questions about like just human behavior and why people do the things they do. I like
Yeah,
reading
man.
a lot of those
I feel
studies
like I
and
can
stuff
be-
like that. So.
I feel like I can be genuinely open and honest with you, which is a rare thing to find in
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. I actually get that a lot. People are like, you're just so like shamelessly honest with yourself that it makes it easy to just be open with you, and that's always what I like. I love doing that shit, because it's people are too reserved.
You're not just honest to
What'd you say?
yourself. You're honest. You're not just honest to yourself though. You're honest to
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly. It's just I don't know. Life's too short to fucking lead a facade, So just fucking have fun with it and do whatever. Be kind to your fellow man. But yeah, dude, thanks for having me. It's been really fun, and I will definitely share this with people if you'd like. And if you want to get the Twitter hate mob on you or whatever. But
I mean, like I've had people that not everyone has loved on
Right,
before.
right.
So this ain't my first rodeo.
and
I feel like I'm getting a lot better at seeing people and being like, oh, that person is just getting a bunch of
Right.
bullshit, or that person genuinely deserves
Sure.
it, or so on and so forth.
There's definitely degrees,
Yeah.
right? I feel
Yeah.
like
And I can say with full confidence, everything that went your way, you deserved it.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty fair take. It's pretty balanced, I would say. All right, fuck
Okay,
you, Gage. See you never,
bye.
loser. Fuck you.